doing better, and that's a big step. You got what you asked for, like with no us, but you come back for more, and it's never enough. I just sent a letter, all the way from home. I'll miss you forever. Why'd you have to go? I'm caught up in the center. Baby, you could die. If it's been a pleasure, I'll meet you in the sky. This is say I kill it down my car.
What's up, everyone? It's Nuke here, here for my second video. Hopefully you guys like the intro. I'm trying to get a little more creative and put a little of my own stuff in it. I am starting to become a big anime fan, so you expect to see more stuff like that. But today we're here to talk about integration, right? Fancy word, but a lot of thought, and I've gotten a lot of questions about how to date actively and aggressively, defined maybe for fun or for the woman of your dreams or just to see what's out there, but also to how do I take that life and how does it fit into a normal life? Because most of us, we don't want to be famous, we don't want to be clouded and have everywhere we go get noticed, like what people think the lifestyle that most men want. We just want to live a peaceful life, right? Especially myself. So I'm gonna go over some notes on how to integrate that into a normal dating life, and once that happens, what things to look out for, what to expect, maybe. And if you guys have any suggestions or anything that you guys see, please comment and let me know. And we're always learning and trading notes. That's the important thing, right? So okay, so there's really four horsemen here, if you will, to attack that we want to attack here. Um, so it's what your family is gonna think, your friends, your job, and your life online. Your online footprint on and how each of these can affect each other in your opinion, and how people see you, and how it'll affect yourself too, and what a lot of guys think when they actually finally start getting out there, what they think will happen to them, right? So let's discuss these things. So let me look at my notes here. Okay, let's start with your family, right? So let's say you've been dating 6 months, a year, however long, right? And you're having a little bit of success, and let's say you're in your late 20s, early 30s, usually when men start having a lot more success with women and all that stuff. Your family around this time is going to start, hammering you with the questions, Thanksgivings, Christmases, birthdays, gatherings. When are you going to find the right girl, in your early 20s, you probably brought a girl home once or twice, or maybe you had a girlfriend, you brought her home, she seemed nice. Girls will always play the nice girl part in front of your parents. But as time goes on, your standards go up, not only for maybe looks, but also behavior, women, and you want women to be really, really special before you show your parents, So over time, your parents may see that you are not bringing girls home for the holidays, you're not talking about any women in your life, you're ducking questions, or you have an excuse to for your parents. Maybe your dad used to be a womanizer and he kind of gets it, or maybe your mom understands that most women aren't just worth your time, right? Whatever your situation is, first things first, don't talk about red pill with them. Don't talk about like the realities of the dating market. Spare your parents those dark realities. You don't want to present yourself as someone that's either like their son, or as a sociopathic guy who lost connection with reality. Because that's what you're. Once you start saying, "Hey, mom, I have a rotation of 3 girls, and they all, they're not great, but I'm just trying to," you're gonna, your parents are still stuck in old order thinking, right? So you don't want to be seen um, you don't want to be seen as that from your parents. You love them, hopefully you love your parents and they love you. You don't want to bring that reality. They won't get it. It's like it's just not worth it. I've gotten really bad reactions from my parents whenever I try to explain the reality of dating. My dad gets kind of mad and says, man up, the whole man up thing. And then my mother just gets worried and always says, yeah, you need to settle down, And mothers usually they pick up on it. They'll see that you're like you don't you're not bringing girls home the holidays. You don't have girls over for the holidays or anything like that. So eventually, they're gonna start picking up. So it's important that like just have like your prepackaged excuse, and just tell them, hey, I just haven't found the one. Duck the question, and if they really give you the talk and sit down, just tell just give them the truth, but like in a palatable way. Like, hey, mom and dad, it's hard out there. The girls aren't like they used to be, and just leave it at that, right? Don't bring your dating lifestyle to them. They don't want to see that, and also they'll get worried, So keep that out of their life. Your next is your friends, right? So you may have red pill friends. You may have friends that are also womanizers. You may have friends that are truly true betas. You may have friends that are married. You may have, friends come in all shapes and sizes, right? I have friends that are single fathers that are kind of getting it and they're kind of switching on. And then I have friends that are like, if I told them about my life, they think I'm a sociopath or something like that, right? Which is not the case. So what I got to say is this: try to do your best to not talk red pill or dating with your friends. Obviously, you have the manly, oh, I just met this girl. This girl's fine as hell. This girl's sexy. What do you guys think? Like obviously in the group chat, things go down in the group chat, right? But for the most part, keep it out. Keep the red pill technical stuff. Let them come to the conclusion that whatever you're doing is the right thing, and then, if they pull you aside one day, it's like, hey, like I need help. Sort of like slowly spoon feed them the realities of dating, the red pill, your experiences with women. And then as they become more switched on and paying attention more, then you kind of like walk them through more the darker aspects of dating. But if your friend is a beta, a hopeless beta, recovering, don't push this stuff on them. You're just gonna get arguments. They're just gonna get frustrated. Just lead by example and give them the gift of unplugging to themselves. Don't be because maybe you'll have the opposite effect. Maybe they'll be like, this, Nuke is crazy. He's trying to get me to do this and think like this. It'll just overwhelm them. Just let them come to you and then slowly, if you are willing, slowly show them, very, very slowly show them, hey, this is what I've been through, this is what I think. And then maybe they'll come around, or maybe at least it'll improve their life. But if not, just value their friendship for what it is. They don't have to think exactly like you, all right? So next one is your job. This is an iffy one, right? Because depending on the type of job, like again, there's all types of friends and there's all types of jobs, right? Um, it's gonna be tough sometimes, depending on the job, to hide that you're like seeing multiple women and you understand the realities of dating and all that stuff. So what I would suggest is for your job, always try to keep it professional, right? There's gonna be certain situations, right, where it's going to be undeniable. It's going to be very undeniable that you're seeing multiple women, right? Like it may be a job like this personal story. I'll talk about that later. But let's say you're in the military and you're overseas and you're getting boxes and letters from 3 different women. Someone might say, "Hey, didn't you get a letter from a different girl? Did you guys break up?" And you would say, "No, we didn't." And then people are gonna start picking up. Just don't shove it in anyone's faces. Do your best to not shove it in anyone's faces. Keep it um, keep it away from your job and maintain professional. Now, there's other challenges with this. You may be at a job and then girls can smell when you have other women and you're desired by other women. So what's going to happen too is that women from your work are going to get curious and come sniffing around your profile, your online profile, and they may bring it up to you, and they may secretly know through connections. They may investigate because that's how they are. um, do your best to keep your online life and your personal life away from work, and maintain professionality, and ensure that if you have to address it to anyone at work, just tell them, just come up with a prepackaged excuse or line that just, be innocent about it. Like, hey, I'm just trying to find somebody. And people will, for the most part, understand and leave you alone. And some girls are just going to be very attracted to the fact that you're professional, you respect them, and you keep it professional. But then in your other life, you have girls throwing themselves at you or dating multiple women. They're going to try to date you or find out, or get on your program or whatever. I suggest, as most guys that are dating, stay away from work dating people at work. Keep it professional, and it's your livelihood, so don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's really not worth it. Yeah, and that, like that leads to online. So online life, whether you have like you're a brand, or you're just posting stuff because you're, you know, regular posting anything. Obviously, having a girl in a photo with you is really good for social proof, right? But make sure you just go about it the correct way, right? Don't overtly post pictures of you doing super degenerate things with women, right? Like, I had a friend who opens up his Snapchat, and he's showing me this local bar where this guy is just partying with some strippers. Some strippers showed up. It was like they canceled their shift or whatever. They showed up to this bar, and the strippers were taking off their tops, and guys were just, doing degenerate stuff in public, right? Um, Stuff like that is too extreme. It has a negative connotation. It makes you look like you're, it's like kind of I don't like using this word, but kind of degenerate. It's too much. It looks like you're just showing everyone that you're in that world. You want to maintain ambiguity at all times, right? So for your online presence, try to hide it, but at the same time, don't hide it too hard. If that, find a sweet spot where, like, don't like, if you're at a pool party and take a selfie with the girl that you're there with, or with the female friend, stuff like that. Let it be ambiguous. Like, it could be a female friend, or it could be some girl that you're seeing. Let people wonder. Maintain that mystery and ambiguity, but don't make it too easy for people to figure it out, right? Um, and don't do anything that would compromise your relationship with your job, friends, and family. On top of that, in your social media and online and on your Twitter, right? Always practice OPSEC. Protect the girl's identity, unless she's, your serious girlfriend or something like that. Well, other than that, just be careful online and use it to your advantage, but, like, understand that there is a threshold you should not pass with revealing your dating life on social media, right? Um, so here's some, like, more deeper problems that are going to start coming if you're dating in this day and age, and you have a rotation, right? Um, Girls obviously will pick up on this pretty well, and they'll kind of like try to sniff you out, see what you're all about. It's part of the social proof. They enjoy a man that, excuse me, they enjoy a man that has options. At least it gets them curious, right? So um, you're going to have to deal with a lot of attention that is just a little bit annoying, right? So you'll be on social media, right? And then you may get a heart um, on your picture, or whatever you post, right? And then you're like, okay, cool, it's nothing. And then you get another one, and then you get another one, and then you approach the girl online and you say, hey, what's up? And you whatever game you run, and then she's just gonna want that attention from you. So you decide, hey, okay, cool. In your mind, she's not that interested. I tried, but she's not interested. On to the next, right? But then you're gonna be getting, like, um, questions like who took this picture of you, like just in your life and in your DMs, just being annoying and just being kind of rude, like hey, like you I don't know you, I haven't been on a date with you, or I've been on one date and we're no longer like that, I forgot to erase you on social media or whatever, and you're like you can't reconcile. A lot of women can't reconcile the fact that they like a guy who has multiple women, but they don't want to be in that rotation. So they're fighting themselves with, hey, I want your attention, but I also don't want you. I don't want to be known as just in your rotation, right? So you're gonna be dealing with a lot of those gray area girls, that just they can't reconcile that. So just be on the lookout for that. Even on Twitter, where I was anonymous for a while, I had a girl who kind of was retweeting me a lot or liking my pictures and all that stuff. And then she slid in my DMs, or I slid in her DMs because I was like, hey, what's up? And she was gorgeous, gorgeous girl from Mexico, beautiful, like my type. I was kind of excited, even though it's another country, right? Um, and we kept talking, and then she just brought up that, like, hey, you look ran through after I showed her a picture of myself, which I don't know if that was the smartest thing, but I showed her a picture of myself, and she just said, you look ran through, right? And that has nothing to do with you, right? Guys don't get ran through. We get ran through like going to war or a tough job or a tough part of our life. But like what she was trying to reconcile in her mind was like, I like this guy, but he looks like he has experience. He acts and talks like he has experience, and I don't want to deal with being just another girl in his rotation, right? That's just the euphemism, you know. Um, so uh, in your personal relationships, like let's say in your romantic relationship, let's say you do meet a girl that you like and things are going well and you're kind of considering her for a relationship, there's always going to be that weight on her shoulders and that extreme dread, which is good. Dread is good, right? But understand too, like it could get too much, and you cannot just over dread your girl, if she's doing everything right, if she's qualifying to you, if she likes you, if she's respectful, and if she's in your frame and qualifying to you, right? There's no need to shove any of this over in her face, right? Be tactful. She likes you. She's doing the most. Don't you go on a date with her. You're just getting to know each other. Things are going well, but don't the next day post it yourself at a pool party where you're getting double cheek kisses from two girls, right? Don't do that. Like, be smart, tactful. You know, let her find out on her own, but let her find out things that are like, yes, the girl at the counter at the gym is flirty with him. I got myself a winner. Not, oh, here he is, at a pool party getting kisses from girls and girls pouring alcohol on his body and licking it off. Like, just be smart about it, right? Um, uh, let's go for the personal, right? So we talked about these external things that you want to integrate your relationships and your dating life, like your job, family, friends, right? Let's talk about yourself. As you're going to be, it's going to be an explosion of knowledge, a wave of knowledge coming to you as you date. You're going to start looking at all the bullshit things that you were taught are not going to make sense. Every red pill book you read is going to start like, holy crap, they were right. Um, all these things, you're going to get so much information that you're going to want to play Captain Save a Bro, right? You're gonna want to distill this information to your friends and family. Like I said before, keep that away from them as long as possible. And we already talked about that, but please keep that away from them. It'll only frustrate them. Do them the favor, lead by example, and if they have questions, answer them subtly, with the right language. Um, but overall, don't overdo it, right? So keep that part of yourself where you want to distill that knowledge and become the preacher in your group. You need to like slowly kill that off and realize that every man has his own journey and he has to learn either the easy way or the hard way. Hopefully, the hard way doesn't hurt them or end their life, but every man has his own way and has to learn their way, right? Um, so another thing that it's really this one is the most interesting one for me. This is the one I dwell on the most. As you date and you get to meet all types of women, right? You open your heart to the dating game, and you get to some women come into your life, whether it be semi-permanent or fleeing or whatever, right? Um, you're going to see both the best of women and the worst of women. You're going to see things that like are going to white pill you so much on women, right? You're going to see women that, despite their life situations, are great daughters, um, taking care of their family, holding it down for their family, taking care of sick parents. You're going to being great aunts, just great women, and you're going to get white pilled, right? So a lot of these guys online are like, women are terrible, and in this dating market, yeah, I'm not saying they're the best, but you're also is a cool part of dating a lot of women. You're going to experience really good aspects of women, and that's what has kept me going dating, or else I would have become a black pill doomer like other guys. But like I've seen great things from women, but also you're going to see some of the worst things women have to offer. Like I'm telling you, things that like traits and actions and behaviors that really just you're like, what the hell? Like what happened? You're not even going to be ready for it. There's going to be women that are absolutely infatuated with you one day for 3 months, 6 months, even a year. And then in about the course of a week of you not seeing them, they will completely drop you off. Not even like just goodbye. It happens. That's a bad part of women. It's a lot of women do this, but it's just there's good part and bad part, right? There's gonna be women that lie about things like STDs. Like they put you at risk. They lied about it. They knew about it, but they desire that caring affection from you, that they lied to you, so to get you to your life. So um, yeah, it's just you're going to see the best and worst, and you need to balance that in your heart. You need to know, understand, hey, there's good women, there's bad women, there's good aspects of good women and bad aspects of bad women. Reconcile it, understand and accept. Hey, they're neither good nor bad. They're just women, and they're doing what they're doing based on their own dating market pressures and upbringing. No one said that they're great. No one said that they're terrible. They're just doing what they think is right, and you're doing what you think is right. That's all. Um, Another thing, time is going to be different, right? Because now you have 3 dates this week, when before you would just stay home and watch music or focus on your hobbies or hang with your friends, right? So balancing time with your life is going to be a little bit difficult, right? Luckily for me, I was in the military and I had a very academically demanding job, so I had no choice. So I learned the hard way about time management. But if you have to learn to be time management, meaning that if you know that you have a date on Tuesday, right? You're gonna have to get things done early. Your apartment's gonna be constantly clean. So there's another. It has to be constantly clean, right? Um, you're gonna have to move things around, and then um, you're gonna have to maybe accept that girls flake or drop dates. So don't, you know, become a little better at time management. And if it's too much, the first thing that should go is just tell the girl, hey, I'm busy today. Something I can't make it, right? It's priorities, which brings me to my next point: priorities, right? Um, should you prioritize dating, or as you get better, should you prioritize dating? Um, there is no like hard like rule or lesson for this, right? That I have. I'll say this, right? There are different times in your life when you should prioritize dating. There are different times in your life when you shouldn't, right? Like when you should prioritize dating. Let's say you've been crushed by a breakup, right? You didn't see it coming, right? And you're crushed, right? Maybe give yourself 1 week to 2 weeks to process, right? But here, I think here you should hit the ground running and start dating as fast as you can, right? Because it helps with the recovery process. You can get back to being yourself faster, right? Because you're gonna see other women that you know you're gonna feel better, right? But hey, let's say you have family problems and you need to be there for your family or your friends. Dating would take a back seat there, or maybe you're just exhausted, you're burnt out from dating. Well, then, hey, man, maybe you just want to play more video games, or focus on your hobbies or other stuff. There's no hard thing, but just make sure that dating doesn't become an obsession, and regulate it, right? If you're already having three solid girls or a rotation of three or four girls, of whatever you can handle, you don't have to seek other girls for the time being, right? It's not like you have to obsessively, oh no, I have three, I have four, right? If you have a solid rotation going, relax. Like see them when you see them. If one falls off, then maybe swipe a little more, approach a little more, whatever. But see how it's very complicated with prioritizing. Just do the best you can. Girls will fall off, and make sure that the things that matter come first: your job, your family, your friends, your dog, whatever. Make sure that you have that in mind and do the best you can. There is no hard rule. Um, your life situation plays into it, and yeah, that's just how it is. Um, so yeah, that brings me to my next point. Being overwhelmed. Being overwhelmed is another one. There will be times you're very tired, but you have a beautiful girl that wants to see you. She texts you in the morning, hey, can't wait to see you, and you're just exhausted. Sometimes, man, you're just gonna have to take the L and just drink a cup of coffee and go on a date. There have been so many times where I've been exhausted, go on a date, and then the girl turns out to be in a nice dress. She smells great. Um, she's excited to see you. She's all over you. Date goes great, and maybe you take her back to your apartment, but you're tired. But like, hey, man, when you want to go, you want to go. As men, we prioritize sex so much that the rest of our body functions take a back seat when we have a sexual opportunity. It's literally science. So, babe, unless you're, really exhausted and you can't do it, I would suggest, if the girl is worth it to you, give it a shot. You're tired, give it a shot. Get out there. You're learning, um, and then as long as it's not at the detriment of your job, or any other responsibilities you have, give yourself the opportunity to meet women even when you're very tired or something. Um, and let's see what else. So you're gonna have so here's another thing, guilt. So guilt is you're seeing multiple women and two of them maybe are really good girls and both of them are fighting for a relationship with you. You're gonna start feeling maybe guilt if you haven't have that Machiavellian side of you. Maybe you're a good guy who just says the right things, or you're very congruent, or you're very handsome, or you're very whatever you have, man, and you have girls fighting for you. Both are good girls. You may get that guilt feeling, right? So what I would say is realize that you need to get out of your head that dating multiple women is bad. There is no morality in dating, right? For the most part, obviously there's thresholds, don't hurt anybody, right? But for the most part, there is no morality in dating, right? Those two good girls can be seeing two other guys, right? And I have this happen all the time where, there's girls that I have in my rotation and I look at them and I'm like, man, I like this girl. Why isn't she committed? And to me, or why, what's going on? Why isn't she asking me to be her? It's because they're seeing other men too, right? There is no this is um you want to be good for the sake of being good, but realize that you're playing a game which requires you to be certain level of be a little bit Machiavellian, dark triad. It is what it is, man. You have to accept this. So for the most part, look at the game, erase your morality out, take your morality out of it, and realize that yes, you may feel guilty sometimes. I still do sometimes, right? But realize that hey, it's just part of the game. It is what it is. If you didn't ask for this dating market, I didn't ask for this dating market. So for the most part, relax, forgive yourself. You're doing the best they can. You're doing the best you can, and they're doing the best they can to figure this shit out. So don't freak out. Don't beat yourself up because you're dating two good girls at the same time, right? And eventually, if you want to choose, and you may end up with no girls, right? it is what it is, man. And then you can always exit for a while and think about how you want to go about this. There is no, set in stone way to to date. Obviously there's rules, and obviously there's advantages and disadvantages. It is what it is. Um, so I do have two stories that I want to say that as about integration and how it affected me personally. Right, I was deployed. This was my second deployment, and I had begun speaking to um, two girls, right, and then I had another girl that I was talking to. Both girls were from Puerto Rico, and one girl was from stateside, from I think North Carolina, which we both all girls knew we were kind of casual, but one girl was like really like into me, right? So on this deployment, I would get care packages from my parents, and I also get care packages from these girls once in a while, right? I told them, hey, I'm going to care. If you want to send me a letter or something, here's my address of the ship, right? And then once in a while I sent a letter. The girl that really liked me would send me a box of goodies, like 2 boxes of goodies. We would email each other. She'd send me pictures of her, like her graduation pictures or whatever, right? So at first, I would open these boxes in front of everyone because I thought that was a cool thing. Like, look how much I'm loved, Like my parents sent me a box and I got like sneakers and candy and cool stuff. And then the girl sent me a box and I would open it and I'd get like pictures of her, a bobblehead with her face on it, and I liked this girl a lot too. And then the next day, another plane would come in and I'd get mail and it'd be like the other girl sending me like, oh, just thinking of you, hope everything's good on your deployment, blah blah blah, right? And I would proudly open these letters in front of people, but I noticed that some guys who were married with kids, grinding out there, sacrificing their whole life in a tough Navy career, were not getting anything. And I know, and women and men, and I noticed that look on their eyes, and I was like, I have to stop bragging and opening these packages in front of everybody because it's not making me feel good anymore, and it's affecting them, right? A lot of people are struggling in their personal lives and relationships. A lot of people don't feel like they're getting the appreciation. And when they see a person like me who takes it all for granted, you know, um, they're going to maybe turn against you, feel sad, like don't don't do that, like the female affection that you get as a well-rounded, game-aware, red-pilled man, don't flaunt it in people's faces. It's just going to cause an emotional response, and it's not fair. Try to keep it as private as reasonable, right? And I have a second story. After I got out of the military, I worked out in Beaumont, Texas. Didn't like it. It was during the pandemic, and there was this guy that I hid my dating. I still dated during the pandemic, but much less than now. But I hid my dating life from him. He was a coworker, one of the more experienced, more reliable coworkers. Everyone loved him. The management loved him. Everyone told me to be careful with this guy, right? Like, don't tell him your personal life, whatever. So, me being straight from the Navy, I said, hey, no, I'm gonna befriend him. Like maybe he just needs someone to be nice to him, whatever. So I befriend him. We work together a lot, and then a couple months later, I get called into my boss and my boss's boss's office, and they start saying all these mean things about me, right? And I'm like, or all these bad things about me, and I'm on the verge of quitting. I don't like this job, and then I asked them, who's telling you? Like, the only way to know this stuff is to be in the field with me, because we weren't working in an office. We were out in the field, so they were never with me out in the field, and they all said, oh, it was so and so, the guy that I was trying to befriend. And I was like, why would he do that, right? And then I talked to other coworkers, and I told them the conversations I had with that guy, and I realized that that guy was like constantly telling me about these fake stories about how he had a 5 minute mile and how women were always calling to his house and all that stuff. I think what it was that he saw me and the way I moved and talked and how relaxed I was around female coworkers, female clients, stuff like that, that he felt that he needed to qualify himself to me to feel like, competent, right? Maybe. And because of that, there was a little bit of jealousy. I corroborated this with other coworkers. They said, yeah, it's true. And he did everything in his power to get me fired, right? So sometimes you can't help it, even if you keep it secret. Sometimes you can't help it. Um, Overall, learn to integrate your life. Do it slowly. Be smart about this. Like everything else, it takes thought. It takes be meticulous and be understand that what you're doing is very difficult, and a lot of people wish they could do it both consciously and unconsciously. And give them a break. Don't shove it in their face. No one wants to hear about your story. Sometimes, they want you. They want you and who you are as a person. They don't want that had 2 dates in one day, or you know had sex with 5 girls in 2 weeks. Like, they don't care about that. They want you. They want your jokes. They want your personality. And then eventually, maybe one day they'll ask you about these romps that you have, and then you can tell them. But lead with you, right? That's all I have for today. Like and subscribe. Um, and thanks for listening. Hopefully, I'll have another topic out soon. All right. Goodbye.
Too much for me to see. I talk to God, praying for my enemies.